Hello everyone, it is I, SonicQ1011, back again with another video for the 10 Days of Sonic. And in today's video, I am gonna rank all the 8-bit games that I've played from worst to best. So, without further ado, disclaimer, I have not really played much of Tales of Sky Patrol, Tales of Adventures, and Sonic Drift 2, so these are the games that are gonna be not mentioned in this list because I haven't played much of them, so I can't really judge them. Anyway, starting off at the bottom of the list, and that title goes to Sonic Labyrinth. If you've played Sonic Labyrinth, you know why this is my least favorite Sonic game. It's the one that doesn't play much like a Sonic game. So you have to go and find keys because you're trapped in the labyrinth, and you also have to get your speed shoes back. So that means Sonic is super slow in this game. And for you to really get any boosts of speed, you're gonna have to use the spin dash. It's the only means of going fast. And not to mention that, of course, there's a time limit finding these 3 keys or whatever, and you gotta find these keys to unlock the doors. And there is a couple power-ups that kind of make the screen flash really fast, and it's an okay game. It's the worst 8-bit game for sure. It's got good music, but that's about it. Anywho, coming in next, it's gotta be Sonic Blast. And in this game, it's weird because in most cases the Master System version of the game came out before the Game Gear version, but in this case, Aspect actually made the Game Gear version of the game first and then ported it over to the Master System. However, when they did that, they didn't bother fixing some of the aspect ratios for some screens, such as the title screen, so it still appears in the same aspect ratio as it does on the Game Gear, and it looks weird. Not to mention that this game will not run on a Master System Model 2 because the sprites are so big in the game that they overwrite the RAM address that usually is where the card reader is located at on the Master System. And since that's missing from the Master System 2, you can't play this game on the Master System 2. Not like you probably want to play this game to begin with anyway. I love the music. Again, when it comes to Sonic games, if it's a bad game or whatever, the music is usually pretty good. But that's about all I can say for Sonic Blast. It's Sonic Blast. Anywho, moving on to the next game. I have to say, Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine. Now, I like the Genesis version. I thought it was fun. This is just, it's just the Genesis version, but on the Game Gear. There was never a Master System port that I am aware of that's official. I'm pretty sure there's a fan port. I could be wrong about that. But this is just basically just like the 16-bit version. And I don't mind the 16-bit version. I know a lot of people were disappointed that the 16-bit version was not part of Origins. Instead, we got this version of the game. But, I mean, it's Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine on the Game Gear, like I said. There's not much to it. It's okay, but not the best game. Anywho, moving on to the next game, Sonic Drift. Lately, I've actually been modifying this game. I've been documenting how it works and stuff. And the cool thing about this game is that it uses a battery backup to save your best times, whereas the sequel doesn't do that. But it's lacking characters, like in the sequel. And the tracks are very easy to memorize. There's not really a lot of traps you need to dodge, and it's a pretty easy, short game. And I mean, it even got mediocre scores in Japan, and it didn't make its way here in the West until it was unlockable via Sonic Adventure DX. And that's actually how I got into the 8-bit games. I should have mentioned that in my first video, but anywho, Sonic Drift, not a good game, but again, I would rather play it over Sonic Labyrinth any day or Sonic Blast, and the music's good. And it's a shame that they didn't add more characters to it. There's a lot of unused space in the ROM. Moving on to the next game, and I would have to say Sonic Spinball on the Game Gear and Master System. And again, it's one of those cases. It's kind of like Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, but I do like the fact that Sonic Spinball 8-bit has a completely different bonus stage compared to the 16-bit version, and I prefer the bonus stage in the 8-bit version compared to the 16-bit version, because in the 16-bit version, you only get to control a little pinball game, and that's about it. Whereas in Sonic Spinball 8-bit, you get to control Sonic, and it's like you're playing through a big level. That's pretty cool. But again, Sonic Spinball, it's an okay spin-off title to begin with. It's not one of my favorites, but the 8-bit version does do things slightly different. So this is where I rank it at. Anywho, moving on to the next game. Next, I would have to say Sonic Triple Trouble comes in next. And I know most people say this is their favorite 8-bit Sonic game, but I prefer some other games, and I don't know, this one, I'm not the biggest fan of Sonic sprites too much in this one. The music's good, but not as memorable as other tracks, and I'll get to this later whenever I actually make that music video. Still haven't done that. But I do like that Metal Sonic makes an appearance in this game, and Fang the Sniper made his debut in Triple Trouble, but I don't know. I feel like other 8-bit games did things better. I do like the snowboarding power up that they have in Robotnik Winter. I think that's pretty cool. And there's some other power ups I think are cool, but it's not my favorite. Anywho, moving on to the next game, and that'd be Sonic the Hedgehog 2. And again, not the best 8-bit game. It's hit or miss depending on who you're talking to, if you like it or not. I prefer the Master System version over the Game Gear version, and if you watch my previous episode, you know why. I don't know why the devs switched around Underground Zone and Green Hills Zone, but Green Hills was supposed to be the first level in the game, and Underground Zone was supposed to be the fourth one, but the devs are like, no, we're just switching around. And I think it's neat that you gotta go save Tails, and this was when Tails made his debut. But not the best 8-bit game, but it's also not the worst. That's where I rank Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Moving on to my second favorite 8-bit Sonic game, and that being Sonic the Hedgehog. I love that this does things different compared to the 16-bit counterpart. I mean, you still got your Green Hill Zone, you still got Labyrinth, and you still got Scrap Brain, but they each deliver something different compared to the 16-bit version, and Labyrinth and Scrap Brain have a completely new music track, which I already mentioned this, that I prefer the 8-bit tracks over the 16-bit tracks for those levels. And even though Labyrinth Zone is still a drag to play, especially on a slower console, I do like that gimmick that you get to breathe underwater to defeat Robotnik, because you take on Robotnik underwater and you can never drown. And I mentioned that in my other video too. But this is where I'd rank Sonic the Hedgehog. Also, I don't know if you knew this, but Yuzo Koshiro, the guy who composed the music for the Streets of Rage series, actually composed the music for 8-bit Sonic the Hedgehog, and Marble Zone's music is hidden inside the game. Moving on to the number one 8-bit Sonic game, and that being Sonic Chaos. So, I love this game. And again, it's one of those games a lot of people don't like because they think it's too short, and the game kind of does lag, but it's my favorite 8-bit game. The music is fantastic. You get to play as Tails for the first time in an 8-bit Sonic game, and not only that, but Tails can actually fly. Sonic Chaos is such a good game, and yeah, it's short, but again, it's really fun to play through, and I like the rocket shoots power up, and I like the special stages, and it's a shame that Tails is not able to go into the special stages in the final game, because in the prototype versions, you could go into the special stages with Tails. I did make a ROM hack where you can go into the special stages with Tails and edit the first layout too. But anywho, these are the rankings of the 8-bit Sonic games, and I want to know, where would you rank the 8-bit games if you like them? Or even if you don't like them, I'd like to hear about it in the comment section down below. And this has been another episode in the 10 Days of Sonic. I hope to see you around in the next episode. Be sure to like, subscribe, ring the bell for more, and I will see you next time.